Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's see where we are and what we're doing. Let's minimize that. Send that hiking. There we go. And then you can see the dollar index this morning on our beta platform. You see, it's a little higher today, or I guess it's basically flat. Let's take a look at it right there. We got a Fed meeting. I think, is it next week? I think it's next week the Fed meeting occurs. So markets are anticipating a quarter point drop. You see that obviously the dollar has been climbing, a little digestion, climbing, a little digestion, you know. And I think we're still floating around in the weekly buy. No, that's right. We did. We went into the weekly sell last week. There it is right there. So we got 3 days in the sell. And you can see it closed in a weekly sell last week, which is first time then, 10 weeks, something like that? Let's see, where's it at on the spreadsheet? Let's go see where it's at on the spreadsheet. Right there. 10 weeks it's been in a weekly. Oh, interesting. It didn't show up until this morning. So basically we go like that. Put that 1 in there. Get rid of that. Delete. Oop, cancel. Just go backspace. There we are. Backspace. And so, oop, backspace again. There we are. And so we are now 1 week in a weekly sell. How about that? Okay, so maybe this digestion will go on for a few weeks. I guess what they're doing, they're waiting for, it's the Wall Street's old adage is still a good one, and that is, buy on the rumor, sell on the news. So in this case here, they're selling down. Let's show it to you. For the last 3 days, they're selling down. You can see the algorithm right there. They don't even need to make it bigger. You can see it's just been, pushing underneath for the last couple days. And you can see there, they did close it on the weekend. Let me just go over to the old platform. I wonder if it's just flirting with it today. Let's see how that goes. There it is, DXZ. And I've been meaning to put up the March contract too. Let's go take a look at the March contract, because here we are moving along in, let's see, cancel. Let's go find the March contract. Okay, yeah, there it is, right? No, that's not. It's still the December contract, so we activate it, and that's still in a weekly buy, but dropping. Now what I want to do is I want to copy that window and paste that window. There we are. Now let's put the March contract in there and see what that looks like. And we'll show it to you. And I think our beta is using the March contract at this point already. So let's go like that. Ding and a ding and a ding. There it is. March. And there it is again. Let's go to the weekly. There we go. No, it's still in the buy. Interesting. Very interesting. Still in the weekly buy. But it is that's Friday. It's not reflecting today. We're not seeing today's action. They're showing us the end of last week. So let's see what the December contract is doing. Is that live update or is that delayed too? That's today. Okay. So the weekly is dipping down on the December contract, and we'll see how it's doing that same thing. I guess let's see what let's just shoot you over to that. Let's go over to the old platform right there. So there is the December contract. You can see how the green line is breaking the manifold right there. Yep, you can see that. Oh, let's get the chat line up too. Is anybody saying hello to Doc this morning? Say hello. Hello. Hello, Ma. Okay, here we go. Click that. Here I am. And there we go. Now. Hi. Oop. Hi ho. Hi ho. Hi ho. It's off to work we go. There we go. I go. Hey ho. It's off to work I go. La 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 la. La 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 la. All right, now let's do that again. And let's take a look at, you can see the December contract is making that dip down. You can see that right there. And you can see the last 3 weeks. Now this is the fourth week. It's off its peak up in here. And you can see the fast is broken down. And last week, the fast pitched right into the weekly sell. Okay, so it shows it as a fast. Now, brown cow. Let's see. What is that? So the fast on the beta, now that's curious, because the fast, the slow on the beta is dropping. Now that's interesting. Let's see where that's at. So it's at minus 0.36, and this is at minus, what is that? Minus 0.04. Okay, so it seems to be rounding out the number more. And it's also, there's the slow, and the slow is underneath the manifold. Interesting. I know it was above the manifold, so both of them are underneath. This is what I've been saying, and you know, we used to run 3 old platforms at once, and they all had different characteristics. They all had their own statistical average, but they all fell into the 8.86 all the time. So it was, in other words, it was the way they interpreted it individually, which was fascinating, which tells us that overall it's going to be right. No matter which platform you're following, it's going to be right. That's what it tells us. That's the odd math about it all. You know, it actually says, oh, doesn't matter if I don't look like the other platform. You know, it may be the cycling of the RAM chip, you know, the random access chip. It may have a different cycle to it since, you know, you have stronger chips, you have weaker chips, you know. And so that was our conclusion. Because, you know, for years we watched 3 platforms. I don't know, for a decade we watched 3 platforms over and over again on the old platform. And now we have a new beta platform, and at times it has a different look to it. But is it less accurate? That's the key, and it's not. That's the weirder part out of it all. It's not. And so you can see here, the slow now is breaking the manifold. You can see the histogram, obviously, you know, obviously it's a standard deviation between the two of them. So you can see, you know, same math, same product, only a standard deviation. So that's why the histogram and the green line never are minus separately. They're always identical on some level. It's just a standard deviation. It's a way for us to look at the standard deviation, or which is more popularly known as the Bollinger Band. Okay, so and that's the cool part about all this. So the fast instead is through the sell side here, and you can see there's your third day going on, just like on the beta. And so, and it will just show it to you on the beta. Let's show you. This is not meant to be an advertisement. It's meant to be how the formula itself reacts on different computers, but still keeps the 0.86 success rate out of 0.100, or I guess 86 times out of 100. It's going to be the same. That's the end result. They're both going to be that accurate. They just sometimes do it in different cycles, and that's the key word there: cycles. You know, I don't think we have anybody that does cycle work. Do we? I don't think I. What did I see? Let's go back to the Ducoscopy platform for a second. Let's see. Where do I do that? I go I go right here. That's what it is. So let's see. Where do I do this? I go plus here, like that. Bring that up on here like that. Expand the whole thing like that, and then I think there it is right there, Ducoscopy Academy. And let's see, where's some of these things at? What's coming up? There's what's coming up. No, that's my stuff. Upcoming streams. Upcoming live stream, 3 Fibonacci multiple time frame. That's good. That's well worth. That is really probably. You see this right here? You definitely want to tune into that. The 3 Fibonacci's multiple time frame reference. I get time frames or references for forex and crypto. That looks really great. All right. So, and then, is there anybody doing cycle work? I don't think there is. Let's see if we can find. Let's cancel that again. Let's go to there again. There we go. Let's see if anybody's doing any cycle work. Now, that alone, just the fact that they're doing 3 Fibonacci multi-time frames, that's okay because that starts to identify cycle work. Let's see if anybody's doing cycle. Live trading. Let's see, daily stock picks. Cool. There's daily stock picks up on there. Yeah, cycle work itself. That is an interesting thing, and the cycles on RAM chips, or random access memory, that deals with the what do you call it? I want to say the mainframe. It's the mini mainframe in there, the hard drive. Okay, that's what the hard drive is. The hard drive is the mini mainframe. You know how they used to say, oh, a computer back 30 years ago, or 40 years ago now, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. A computer now back in the 70s would be the size of a house or a size of a big room in the house. And now the mainframe is on your desktop or your telephone or your tablet, and it's the size of a peanut. That's what they're talking about. It's the hard drive, which was the old mainframe. And the RAM chip, the random access memory, reaches around and has all that stuff stored into. That was the great, the advancement of the microchip. No, transistor. Your transistor was the beginning of that. That's what the vacuum tubes where they light up and you plug them in and out. That's what they were. That was part of the storage in a binary way. And then now we have the capacity to move it into what was the size of a house is literally the size of a peanut. The size of a simple coin. It's so small because they have the capacity to do the same thing, random access memory. Da, 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 da. So we're doing a little computer science here at the same time as we're talking markets. All right. So anyhow, I recommend everybody go tune in that webinar. That looks like a good one. 3 different time frames of Fibonacci. And that's what's built into. Remember, our math is an advanced not post, pre-Fibonacci. Okay. That's something hard to wrap your head around, I can tell you that. I had a long time before I could wrap my head around it. And I've been doing it, 40 some odd years. But almost 50 years now. And that's what that is that's the different time frames. That's what these lines are all about. Different time frames of the math itself, which is an advanced Fibonacci sequence that's before there was a Fibonacci sequence, there was my formula. That's what's weird about it all. That I could say it again. It sounds insane. You have to listen to it through the tape recording because it's like, what? Wait a minute. Your math was before Fibonacci? Yep, it was before Fibonacci. So in other words, I discovered a way of reading it, that framework. So when I look at it, then you say, well, Doc, how could you tell that? How could you tell that your math is ahead of Fibonacci? It's because I've used expanding galaxies to backtest my work. I'll say that again, and then we'll get moving along again back into the dollar index. Again, my math has been backtested using expanding galaxies. They expand every 36 to 38 or 34 million years, depending on the size of the galaxy. Okay, in other words, the creation of a galaxy. Yeah. Okay. And whose work did I use that studies that? Not my work, of course. It has to be independent. Lisa Randall, Dr. Lisa Randall, head of the physics department at Harvard University. And when she left string theory and she moved to dark matter, she put out some interesting work about expanding galaxies. And I took that work and back tested my math back in 2013, I guess it was 2013, and went, whoa, my math is ahead of Fibonacci, because everybody knows galaxies move with a Fibonacci sequence. So before you could calculate the Fibonacci sequence in a new galaxy expansion, my math was picking it up first. That's it. Now I'm done. All right, there's the insanity. They're putting the straitjacket on me at this point. So, we've lost one viewer. Hey, he's crazy. He's out of his mind. He's out of his mind. All right, so let's go back to the dollar index, and there it is right there. We're pushing into the sell. We're second day in a sell. In other words, we're in 2 full days. Today is the 3rd day in a sell. You can see that right there. See that right there. And then you go over to the new beta platform, our own platform, and you see the same thing again. 3 days into the sell. Sell. All right, so there is the dollar index. We're just assuming that when you sell the dollar, it means basically that the interest rates might be coming down on other pairs trades. That's what that is all about. That's why sometimes we show you the different, different. Here, I'll show you what I'm mumbling about here now. Doc's going on his ramble again. But this one's easier because it's not me. Here it is right there. And we take a look at the global bond market itself. Here's the U.S. Treasury market. Here's the UK one. There's the German one. And then we go up here. You got, there's UK, Germany, Italy, France, Japan, Australia, Canadian, Brazil. They're showing it. I wonder what Brazil is. Let's see what the interest rates are in the official government interest rates in Brazil. The 9-month is trading at almost 14%. It's 13.9 right there. Let's highlight that in a little bit better way so you can see it better. You can see that right there. Better. Look at that. They have a few issues with their interest rates at 13.965. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess, when was that? In Brazil, I guess? I don't know. Then we can go over and look at, what did we see on the other one? The other one was a 14%. And what was that? That's the 1 year. At 14, there it is. There's the 1 year in Brazil. Here it comes. 14.36. Up 0.275. Well, you would think that people would want to buy, Brazil and sell U.S. I'd rather have 14%. I know that the QE people, the central banks around the planet since the Obama era, has gone totally bunkers with interest rates. They charge you instead of you getting paid, things like that. That's all too weird for me. But anyway, that's the global bond market, and every so often we look at that. But what we do is every day we see it. How do we see it? We see it through the currency pairs. That's what we're seeing it through. Interest rates influence, the buying and selling of currencies. And then obviously you look at more fundamentals. You take a peek at, say, the inflation. You look at the GDP. You look at economic policy. They're the things that influence, this whole thing. Let's see. So, here is the euro. Let's show you the euro this morning. I think it's in a buy for a couple days now. Yeah. So there it is. The 3rd day now on a buy. You can see it here on the spreadsheet right there. It is 2 days in a buy and 11 weeks in a sell. We are making a move. You can see that. Oh, let's see. Let's show it to you right here. We are making a move in it. There it is. You can see here the fast is moving up. Compared to what are we seeing on the beta? Oh, no, let's go find the beta. See, actually, let me stay there for a second. I should have stayed there. Because what we want to do is we want to look at the dollar index versus the euro. That's what we were trying to do there. I was going to go show you the dollar index, the euro on the beta, and that's not what my objective there was, is why is the dollar now being sold down a little bit? And that's because there's an interpretation that interest rates are dropping here in the States. That's why I was saying to you, the dollar index is dropping down. You can see that mild slide going on off and on now for a couple weeks. And you can see here it's done it. It broke down last week, but you can see the line broke through the zero line there, going back 2.5 weeks ago. And, it's pushing down and trying to get towards, in other words, they're selling dollars, buying other pairs trades. And we're probably seeing it, and I want to emphasize that more in case someone here is focused in on other pairs trades besides just king dollar. There's a king cable, king euro, and there it is right there. There's cable. Cable's had that same upwardly trajectory as, bada bing, bada bang, the downwardly trajectory of the dollar index at the same time. See, down for weeks. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get the point across. Did I lose anybody else? I don't think so. I think someone's come in and out a few times there. That's about it. All right, and so there's we are. There we are, and that's the cable, and we're seeing that strength in there. And let's see who's winning between the two of those, the euro and the cable. So we look at right there the euro GBP pairs trade, and you can see that's been in a weekly sell up in here. So the euro has been losing to the British pound. It's been moving down. That's what that's all about right there, because remember it's labeled euro GBP, not GBP euro. And so you can see here it pushes into the sells and bounces around and so forth and so on. It really tells you something, They're trying to get a new election in England. They're petitioned for it. France last week basically dissolved the parliament. Now they've got to have a new election. You really got to wonder. The euro obviously is worse than the cable. In other words, it's weaker than the cable. And so not worse, just weaker. And the cable's stronger. And it really says something to you that if they're trying to dissolve government in England, and they're trying to do it 4 years and 9 months earlier, the government has only been in power for 3 months, and they're already trying to find a way to dissolve it. It just tells you, how these politicians have it all wrong. And then you can see in the United States, Mr. Trump won by a landslide, and so it just shows you, people are fed up with government stealing their money, taking their jobs, throwing their companies into receivership. They're just fed up with all of that. They want free markets, free people. And then our leftist people, our leftist friends, social Marxists and so forth, societal Marxists, they our friends on that side of the aisle just have a whole different idea. They want to control our lives from cradle to grave. When you work, they're like the mob. They want to taste. They got to take a little money from you. They got to get a little taste. That's what they want. Get on my taste. I need a taste. What do you mean you need a taste? It's my money. I worked for it. Oh, no. I'm big brother. I need a taste. All right, and then from there, let's take a look at the Swiss. There's the Swiss this morning. See, the Swiss is banging along the bottom end of the range. You can see the Dukascopy's had some good video, Market Academy stuff on support and resistance. Channels. They call them support and resistance. Sometimes the support is above. Sometimes it's below. In other words, it's a channel line down at the bottom. And up here can be considered resistance at times. Then it can turn into the support, and it trades higher. And in this case here, this is the support here now. It's jumped through the resistance. That was resistance. It climbed above it, and now it's playing with that resistance. And then it comes down and tests the old support. Yeah, or the news. I'm sorry, the news support, which was the old resistance when it traded lower, like that. When it was trading down below and having problems, see, it bangs up against it here and falls down, and bangs up against it here and falls down. And I think we can see even more of those actions. Where's that little button that goes this way? There it is. You see how it climbed up into that area, and it became the resistance. You see the resistance here coming down because it was trading at a higher point. Because there was a big anticipation that Mr. Biden's market and Mr. Biden's economy was going to stay the way it was, and then they started to realize, oh, wait a second, Mr. Trump is going to win the election, and the market started anticipating it and breaking back in that direction, and that's what you're seeing here now. It got trapped up in there, and and you can see here, Switzerland was fighting inflation. They've done a great job. They came down from the 101 area. Look at that, at 0.87. They were as low as 835, right around in here. That's really good. That means that you have less inflation when you see your interest rates dropping like that, your currency dropping like that. Not your interest rates, but your currency dropping like that. That's the real inflation right there. So, all good stuff. All good stuff. Yeah, look at that. It's the fast is broken underneath last week. The slow is touching the standard deviation right there. And so this is the Bollinger Band, the yellow lines there. That's what that really is, or the standard deviation. This is a standard deviation of the formula right here. So in other words, we're looking at multiple stages or time periods of standard deviation. Just like, let's go back to that, let's do that again. Just like that Ducoscopy webinar that's coming up. Let's just show it to you one more time. I'll see you be home, Kathleen. Let's see, one more time. Right there. And we'll just advertise that webinar coming up. Where's it at? It was right there a few seconds ago. There it is. The 3 Fibonacci multiple time frame. That's what we're talking about right there. Right there, right now. And that's coming up today, about a half hour after my webinar. Okay. So, boom, gone. All right, now, and there is also, let's just emphasize the Ducoscopy right there. There's the Ducoscopy website if you're trying to figure out, wait a minute, how do I maneuver from here to there? There we go. Da-da-da-da. All right, let's see, what do we got here? So now we'll go to the yen, see what the yen's up to. The yen's been acting, benefiting from what I think is the American economy. So you see it's gaining against the dollar for weeks now. Where was the election? The election was right here. You had some jacking up for the first couple days, and then finally it topped out on that's the election right there. That day right there is the election, and then it confirmed that Mr. Trumpy had won, and then in the Senate and everything is in his favor. And so look at that. Looky. And so, and remember, the House is so much more delicate. It's people are dying or resigning or doing things all the time. So, as much as the Republicans only control, say, 3 or 4 seats more, or I guess it's 215 on the social Marxist or societal Marxist, and which is called the Democrat Party, and then there is the Republicans, and so they have 220, and that'll change. It'll go up to 221, it'll go up to 222 and 23 because there are going to be seats replaced by people, and so and there's other elections always happening. There's always something going on. It's only a 2-year seat, so people come on the Marxist side. I think their standard age is something like 67 or 72. They're very old. That's why they're Marxist. And so as much as they have like an AOC, and she's like in her 30s, they have a lot of people in there in their 80s and 90s. 70s, 80s, and 90s. And so the average is something like 62 or 67 or something like that. And then on the Republican side, I think the standard average is something like 44 or 43 or 45, something like that. About 20 years difference. So the that's what that was interpreting. You can see here when it was stalled, they couldn't tell who was controlling. They knew who was controlling the Senate, but not the House. And the House is the most powerful, so you only get those seats every 2 years. And so I mean, there's they're always voting a lot of them back in again, but not always. Not always. All right. So from there. From the yen, you can see it's been in a weekly sell for 3 weeks right there. You can see it's been in a daily buy, stumbling around, going sideways for the last 4 days right there. So if we get back into another sell, they're probably going to slam the dollar against the yen again. The dollar will lose. Okay, here we go. They're talking about, let's see, meet the no. I see they have PAL up there. Well, I think if it's not the end of this week, I think it's next week. I think it was in the teens. So I think this week, Saturday's what, the 14th? Today's the 9th. So the 10th and 11th and 12th and 13th is Friday. So it's Friday the 13th. And then we have the 14th. And I think next week is the Fed, possibly cutting the rates. I think the odds are that they're going to try to cut the rates. That's what the dollar index is telling us. And so is the futures contracts of the interest rates. All right, now from there, we go over to the great experiment in Turkey. Right there. I can't wait because Syria fell over the weekend or last Friday or something like that. So you can see here now we are the third day in a buy now right there. There it is. And you can see here the fast is trying to get through very quickly, and the slow is joining up and getting ready to hit the manifold right there on the negative side. So, we've seen this, when we look at the currency. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. It's 11 weeks in a sell. We haven't seen something like that in almost 5 years. That this thing went 11 weeks in a sell. I mean, 3.5 years ago was 9 weeks. So it's like, wow. I mean, you're talking about when this product was trading in the 6s and the 7s and the 5s. 5 years ago. See, the former prime minister, now president of Turkey, is doing this great economic experiment on the people. So far, they're bleeding on the floor, but he's been doing it over and over and over again. And I think we can show you, how far back can we get on this? Let's see. There's 2000. There is February of 2019. The product was trading in the 6s. And let me just remind you again, where is it trading today? The 36s. You got to laugh at that one because you got to feel enormously sorry for the population. Now, obviously, the former prime minister, now president of that country, Turkey, Erdogan, he's like the spider in Harry Potter. I always think of him that way. I mean, not very healthy. Definitely some of his ideas are definitely distorted. Now, there is November of, what the hell is that? 2018. And it was up in the 7s. And it vacillated, in a lot of different directions. And then they dropped it down into the 6s. I think they used up every dime of their sovereign fund to be able to try to lift it. And then there was no more sovereign fund after that. That was his son-in-law at the time running the sovereign fund. And he was the president of it or chairman of it. And the president, Aragon, was chairman of the board or something like that. I don't know. It was very incestuous, that's for sure. So you can see here, the product, even in let's see, I guess it was when Trumpy was in office, it was doing a lot better. Once Trumpy got knocked out of office in 2020, we'll show you where that's at. Oh, yeah, there we go. So you can see here, that's 22. Let's show you where Trumpy got knocked out of office in 20, at the end of 20, going into 21. There's 21. And so Jojo was now president. I'll show you where he became president on the chart. Well worth watching, because it just shows you good management of government policy versus less good management of government policy. One is much better than the other. And so you can see here, let's see, this is where Mr. Biden takes office, and it falls down to 8.5 from 9. And obviously it was in the 6s under Trump. And obviously Trump was better for the Turkish lira. I've say this out loud. You see here it's playing with the 10s. That's an all-time high now. Into 21 during halfway through Mr. Biden's first year. You can see by the end of Mr. Biden's first year, you've got the Turkish lira now trading at not 6 like when it was with Mr. Trump. But here is, what was that? That is December 20th. It's trading at 20 now. So it tripled in value. Or no, it lost. It lost 3 times its value. 3 times its value, not 3. Under Mr. Biden. And then, so matter of fact, maybe that's why we saw 11 weeks now in a sell, because they know that under Trump, the economy is going to do better there, not worse. Obviously, it has less to do with, well, I don't know what it has to do with Mr. Let's put it this way, Mr. President of Turkey has been doing some weird stuff. I mean, the product went from 1 to 6, and so that's like, ow, that's a real ow. That hurts. So, you see here, it's up to, by halfway through Mr. Biden's presidency, or a third of it. Let's go back to December of 23. There's December of 23. We got a Turkish lira trading at 31, 32, 30, stuff like that, 31, 32 area. Not 6 when Mr. Trump was in office. Obviously, you put Biden and the president of Turkey together, and you can definitely not want to be long the Turkish lira, that's for sure. And maybe now this might make a lot of sense. Let's take a look at in September. It was in August when we really, I was telling everybody Trump's going to win in a landslide. I'm looking at the internal polls, and so not the fantasy things. There's 2 types of polls in politics. There's the internal polls by your own party, and then there is spin polls that you're trying to convince the other party's voters to be disillusioned. So it's a combination of both of those things. So you can see here, it's not a big move. It hit 40 on a panic, just like it hit 35 on a panic, and someone gets robbed. Same on both of those. You can see here that it's been trapped between like the 39-ish and the 35-ish area, going into the last 3 months of the election. And Mr. Trump gets elected here. Look at that right there. Now, is that because I've been saying it's because it's a weak euro, but it could be more than just a weak euro and a strong dollar that's really hurting Turkey. Obviously, it's the policies of Turkey to be sensitive to those things. I mean, that's the best way to describe that. You look at it and you go, what's wrong with this picture? Why is it gone from 6? Why is it going from 1 to 2? That's even worse. Why is it going from 1 to 2? A sip of the tea. That was good. Sage and ginger. Woof, woof. Make my brain run good. All right. Anyway, that's the Turkish lira. and it's moving back up a little bit, and I think that's more to the credit of the euro than the policies of Turkey at this point. So in other words, it was going down because of the weakness of the euro, and now it's going up because of the strength of the euro. All right, now from there, we slide over to South Africa, and it's kind of trapped in the 17s and 18. When this is going down or sideways, we expect gold to be the same way. And let's put that up. That's the South African Rand, and they are... No, that's not what I want. And they are the world's largest producer of gold. And their currency reflects it on some level. Obviously, politics. They've done the same unfortunate thing from Nelson Mandela. Is it Nelson Mandela? Yeah. Nelson Mandela to, the currency went from 1 to 6 under him, which is like Turkish-like. It's like, ow, that hurts. And then, I'm trying to put gold up here now. And then, where's gold? Right there. And then, we see, sideways action. There, gold. And then from Mr. Mandela with the ANC, which is also a social Marxist organization or slash a societal Marxist organization, however you want to look at it, has taken the currency up, as you can see. Let's go back to that real quick. Right there, in the 17s and 18s. So under him, it went from 1 to 6, from 6 to the next ANC president after Mandela. It went to 13, was it? Or 11. I think it went from 6 to 11, I think it was. And then from there it went to 15. Each ANC president has just hurt the currency more and more. And now we find it we're now in a strange position for the first time since the ANC has had control, and Nelson Mandela took over the country. Basically, politically, we've seen the poor country have enormous problems like Turkey does. And but now we have a coalition government down there, and that makes it even harder for us to read, because a part of it is ANC on the socialist side, not as much as the Marxist side. Not the hard commies, but the soft commies. And then you have a conservative group of the old Afrikaners, and the Zulus, and one other tribe down there. They're another party which almost equals to, matter of fact, it does. I think it's past 42%. So the ANC has 42% of parliament, and then the other three old Afrikaners. Remember, the Zulus were Afrikaners too. They had a full vote, and so did the other tribe. I forget what it's called, but it's a very small tribe, because they are indigenous to the land there. I always remind people here, apartheid was not racist. Apartheid was illegal immigration. That's what it was. So in other words, all Afrikaners, be it white or black, had full votes. 100, and then illegal aliens had half a vote. And now they run the country, or have been running the country under Mr. Mandela all these years in the ANC. That's why they call it the African National Congress. Because it's not just South Africa. It's illegal aliens now doing it. All right, so from there we get a look at silver. Let's see what silver is up to. As we see there's gold. And it's firming up a little bit today. We got another green and red developing, but it's still in minus, and it's in a weekly sell. Now, over in silver, which is interesting, is we're seeing a lot more strength there this morning. It's trying to lift up even more. It wasn't a daily buy from here, but fell into the sell on Friday, and then now it's jumping back up again. And you can see the weekly is trying to join in. It's only at minus 0.04. It's very close. Can you see that right there? Yeah, you can see that right there. See? Right there. Let's see. From there, we go over to where do we go to from there? Let's go over to, put that on there like that. Ta-da. Move that over to there. Ta-da. Okay. Moving my tea around there so it doesn't spill. All right, and then from there, we're seeing some strength. Again, gold hanging out just underneath the all-time high by only 3 or 4%. That's nothing, Is it that? Maybe it's 6%. Whereas silver is something like 39% away from its all-time. 37% from its all-time high. That's a big difference compared to 5%, or even 7%. 37%. Has a Turkish sound to it, I guess. And then from there, we take a look at copper and China. China's trying to do that same. Copper is trying to do that same thing. It's trying to lift up, and it's been like silver in buys and then slipped into sell on Friday. Now the weekly there is having a little bit more problem. You notice the fast is busted through the manifold last week and closed up above, but the slow is still having its issues with that. It can't really get rolling along. So it's having a harder time getting a lift. We keep on thinking there's a sugar high coming around the corner again, but not so fast. Let's take a look at, since we're talking about sugar highs, let's take a look at Shanghai, and then we'll take a look at Hong Kong and see if we can see any positives or negatives out of that, just by looking at the charts. So here, right there, you see, it's down towards its lows of the last couple years, and I think the low is 380, and here we are at 428. So it's definitely holding, but it's not at all-time highs of copper up in the 520 area. And so you can see there, they're in a daily buy now for, I don't know, is that 9 days now in a daily buy. Just show it to you on the chart right there. So it's been climbing. So we keep on thinking, well, they're going to come up. And they lowered some interest rates. They're doing their best to do anything they can without putting money out. In the sense of, they plowed in about 2.8 trillion won. Yeah, not billion, trillion. Which comes out to be about $362 billion. So and that's over a 3-year period. And so they're tweaking on the edges, I guess you could say. They're tweaking on the edges. All right, and then from there, we see. That's copper. So let's go to platinum. Oh, we were on the beta. So there's, again, let me just go back to that beta. So it's doing it there, and you can see it's the second week in a buy there, both the fast and the slow. But the fast is actually dropping underneath it this morning. That's interesting. We'll see how that works. Read the last time it started to break down, but then it went sideways and lifted up again. Now it's really trying to break down more. Let's take a look at Hong Kong. Let's see what the Hang Seng looks like. Right there. Wow, look at that nice pop. It's really lifting up this morning even more. A nice pop there. Now it corrected more too. And on the Shanghai, it stalled out at these lows. But not the Hang Seng. The Hang Seng drifted down to these lows. So we're seeing a lot. This is a nice pop. And let's see. Let's go like that. You see it's a second week in a buy. And at the same time, you can see, let's see, daily wise, what's that? 3, 6, 9. So 9 days in a daily buy too. It's been lifting up firmly. They're not giving up on that. They're obviously there's something coming, and we usually go and look at. Let's look at we usually look at the I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. We look at the energies next after we're done looking at the metals. And so let's just finish off platinum and just showing you that there's some action going on in there. When I look at copper, I have to automatically roll over to China and see what they're doing there. So let's see, where am I going from copper? Oh, I know it is. We want to go to platinum. And there's platinum, and it's showing strength this morning too. It's got a green and a red. It's lifting through the zero line. You can see the weekly is trying to turn up. We're seeing some strength kicking out there, like we're seeing in silver. This, I don't know, what is this? This is like 68, 67%. 67? I think it's 64 or 65. Might be 62. I think it's 62% from its all-time high. Can you imagine that? 62% when we have silver at like 36, 37%. This is at 62%. And copper's like 20 some odd percent, like 22, 23% from its all-time high. And gold is something like 6% from its all-time high. Boy, talk about time frames when it comes to precious metals. That's a good example of different time frames. I mean, they're all, in want. People want to own those things. So, I mean, it's like, when you're looking at gold, it's like the best, obviously, because it's at all-time high, basically, only 6-7% off. Then you look at silver, which is, then copper. Copper is China's gold. That's why we look at it that way. And that's like 22% off its all-time high. Then you go to silver. Silver's like 36, 37% off its all-time high. And then you go to platinum, and that's like 62% off its all-time high. So it's like, wow, there's 4 multiple time frames of precious metals. Also, the quality of the precious metal. Obviously, gold is more in demand than silver, and obviously silver is in more demand than copper, and obviously copper's in more, I guess it's the other way around. Copper's in more demand than silver, really, in many ways. It's not that far from its all-time high, measuring it from an all-time high. Just like I do with Citibank in the United States. Is it Citibank? Yeah, Citibank. Citibank is 90% off its all-time highs. And then you can look at another incredibly weak international bank, Deutsche Bank, at something like 78, I think it is, off its all-time highs. And then you have something like JP Morgan, the best of the best, which is at its all-time highs, and keeps on making new all-time highs all the time for years now. So it's like, and that's JP Morgan Chase, combination of a brokerage and bank. And it used to be really a private bank. It was not really a public bank. Now because it's merged with so many smaller banks, it's turned into and it merged with the best of the best, Chase. So you're talking about the best bank in the world, one of the best banks in the world, and then you look at Deutsche Bank and you look at Citibank in the United States and go, whoa. And I think Barclays Bank is like that too. I think it's like 62% of all-time highs. Let's just go check that out because we got time here. Remember, markets don't open up over here for another hour and 6 minutes. So let's see, what's that? Let me go find it. We'll find Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank. Let's see, we'll find it in a second. Bank, England. There we go. Let's find the symbol here. All right, let's just find. Here it is. Here comes Barclays Bank. We'll put it up on the other screen. Boy, they really do like to hide the bank, don't they? You would think. Paste. I put it in there and it. Okay, let's just get rid of England and just say Barclays Bank. There it is, Barclays Bank. No, wrong. Okay, so we go like this. Wipe that out. There's Barclays Bank PLC. It's a NASDAQ. We can even put it into our system too. We got it. Okay, so it's at $65.44, like Citibank, trading in that, and its all-time high at Citibank is like $660, and so it's way down. And let's take a look at 1 year of Barclays. Let's take a look at 5 years of Barclays. Let's see, 10 years of Barclays. Man, it doesn't even want to show it to us. There's 5 years. They don't want to show us 10 years of Barclays Bank. Oh, that's not it. They're not even showing. What is that? A callable issue caliber. The hell is that? They're really hiding Barclays Bank. That's really funny. Why are they trying to hide the bank's history? You always wonder. Yeah, Citibank, same way. I seen it on the charts now. It says 555. It's like, what? Barclays Bank of U.S. Let's try that. See what the symbol is there. Boy, they are really hiding the charts on Barclays Bank more than 5 years. That's amazing. Barclays Bank Group website. Let's see, Barclays. They don't even want to give us the symbol. That is so amazing. That is so amazing. We'll find it, and I'm going to put it up there, and I'm going to show it to you. They can't. They make it very hard. Do we have a Barclays Bank in the USA? That's a good one. About Barclays, let's see. We're Barclays U.S. Consumer Bank. Okay, how about Barclays Bank in England? Is Barclays a UK or let's see, or UK or US? In India, Barclays PLC is one of the largest UK employers. Boy, they still want to hide it, don't they? They want to show you India's bank. Let's see. Let's try this one. Barclays Bank. Let's see. There is a British multinational universal bank headquartered in London. Okay, good. We want to see what the stock symbol is. What is that? This is so amazing that you can't get Barclays Bank. So the charts on it so easily. They just refuse to give it to you. Talk about them hiding. Let's see. Barclays Bank PLC capped principal. They want to show us bonds. They don't want to show you the stock. That's all they're doing is they're showing us bonds. They don't. It must be so bad. The stock. Let's try this. Barclays Bank. They're paying Google not to be able to show it. That's what it comes down to. That's one of the big gripes here in the United States is this they misdirect you and then want to claim that they're doing things to help you. Barclays Bank UK. Let's see if I just go UK. Stock. And let's see. Barclays PLC stock. All right, so there is BARC, London Stock Exchange. Let's see if we can get the symbol. Let's see how far back this will go. Okay. Let's see. Copy. Okay, here we go. Let's see what that is. Let's see 1 year. Let's see 5 years. Let's see all. Ah, there we go. There we are. So it's only 67% down. We found it. Just takes, look how long. Let's see, what time is it? It took 10 minutes. Can you imagine that? It took us 10 minutes to get that up on the screen. Talk about not providing information. Here it is, like 1 year. I'll just show it to you as 1 year right there, okay? You know, this is traded in pence, okay? It's not in dollars, it's in pence. 268 pence on the London Stock Exchange. Then we go to 5 years. And look at that. You know, hey, look at that. It's trading up at 268. Nice. Then we go to the all-time. There's the all-time. 733 versus 268. So that is 3 times 268 is 6. It's like 780 or something like that. 810. So it's about 62%, not 66% off its all-time high. And I think I was speculating it was around 62, 63. Yeah. So look at that. That's the chart. There it is back in, this is before the financial collapse. Mr. Obama, there it is right there. Mr. Obama comes in. He gets elected, and we see that product go from the 500 area down to the, where did it get down to? It got down to the 54. At one point, it was down 90, was that 91%, 92%? And it's been hovering, and it's owned by the Exchequer. Most of the stock is owned by the Exchequer in London now, just like Citi is owned, majority of its stock is owned by the Federal Reserve. You know, so same game, different country, that's all. You can see it's lifted up at times up to the threes. It's fallen down as low as 79 going into 2020 when Trump lost. Let's see, Trump lost his election right here. It was at 71. And it hovered around in just the last, the last 3 or 4 months after when Mr. Trump became the nominee to be the presidential candidate for the Republicans, it lifted up. Because they see growth with Mr. Trump in office. So there's another example of, you know, just another major big name bank that everybody thinks is doing fine, and it's trading at 62% under its all-time high. Wow, you know? Just all I can say is, I got only one word for it. Wow. All right, let's take a quick run through the energy sector. Get rid of all that. Talk about evil. All right. Some of these search engines, don't trust the search engines, traders. Be careful about that, because they'll fake you out and make you believe it's something else. You go Google Barclays and they want to give you bond prices, make it look like, ooh, it's at $64. Yeah. No. No. All right, from there, let's take a look at the energy sector. Here is West Texas Intermediate right there. Trading in the, it's up a little bit today. Nice. You know, it's doing something. You know, it's climbing. But it's still in a daily sell on the algorithm right here. And it's slid into the weekly sell also. And you can see here it's lifting up from Friday's close. Not doing too well, but it's lifting. That's trading at, what's that trading at? $68.16. So it's up, it settled on Friday at $67.18 basically. So it's $1 higher. Let's take a look at Brent. Let's see. BZ. Where are you, BZ? There's Bitcoin. We'll take a look at Bitcoin too after the energies. We always do now the cryptos. All three of the cryptos that we follow. You can see it's also doing that thing. It closed at 71.12 on Friday. It's trading at 71.98 today. It's up about 86 cents. But it's pushing into the sell just the same way West Texas is, and it's in a daily sell for 3 days. And then we shoot over to natural gas right there. It spiked this morning. I think I saw that spike. Yeah, there it is. But it's still in the sell for 4 days, even with that spike, and it's in 2 weeks in the sell now. So it's telling you, don't get fooled. Don't buy that thing. If you're short it, because the short signal is very clear. You see it was short here. It was in the short there. I guess it's the short right there. So it's a lose. We're losing. We're not winning. We're giving up some of the nice profits from here, but nowhere near. Even that distance from here to there is nowhere near as the winning chicken dinners over here. Or let's see, where's the last? There was another winner right there. We were in a buy for that and not in a buy for all that. So that's good. And then, so that's wild. I'm not sure what's going on with natural gas, that they jacked it. Maybe some, the cold weather really kicking in. I don't know, something of that nature. I'm sure Europe has been feeling a lot of pain on the temperatures. Let's go take a look at home heating oil, or kerosene, or / diesel, jet fuel, truck fuel. See here, it did the same thing, the same spike. It's been in the sell for a bunch of days and 3 weeks now. So the derivative product that they make from crude oil is being sold down. But that pop, all the energies did that little pop. Oh, you know what that probably is? I didn't even think about it. It's probably Syria. That's probably what it is. Syria produces 3 or 4 million barrels a day or something like that. That's probably what it is, and it's a tight market at the moment. All right, and then from there we'll go take a look at Spain and that energy company down there. EM something or another. EM right there. ENG, MC, MICKEY. Wow, the hell is that all about? But kind of just unched, but it's in a second week of a buy now, starting a second week. It's been trying to push up. Let's just show you. I don't know what that is. They're going to have to fix that. They will, I'm sure. I don't have control over it. That's Friday. So it's been trying to move up a little bit here over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And it's been, it went into the weekly buy last week. And, the slow and the fast not really joining in that much. So it's the distortion. We'll have to wait for later on today to get a better view of it. All right, and that's the energies. So from there, we anybody have anything they'd like to see? If not, we'll get out of here. But this has been Doc from North America, trying to show you that Googling things can be very dangerous. And we showed you by looking at the actual chart, not what they want you to see. There we go. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. That's tomorrow. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a nice and smart trading day. Ta-ta for now.